Hello and welcome, my Cantaloupe Catapults. How you doing today? This is the new update for Bloons Tower Defense 6. Today we're going over the patch notes, so all of the changes that are happening to the game. So first and foremost, Ninja Kiwi kind of gives you a little base breakdown of the most important changes to the game. The Dartling guns here, Tier 5, got new monkey knowledge for Dartling gun and other new monkey knowledges. There's two new maps. There's Skates and X Factor, which are really cool. And I think the Challenge Browser is probably one of the coolest aspects of the game, besides the Dartling Gunner, in my opinion. And then we've got 20 new trophies for us to buy, festive only, might be limited time, not sure yet. And there is 10 new achievements for you achievement hunters out there. So, of course, let's just go over the quick stuff really quick. The monkey, if you guys have not seen the Dartling Gun, I think it's hard to imagine, but this is the Dartling Gunner in his almighty beauty right here. Very cool. I've been loving him. I've been having a bunch of fun with him. New hero, we've got, new hero skin, Open Greenfoot's Mountain Guardian skin, which we'll show him off in a game real quick. Now, if you guys want to press the like button for me, that would be absolutely fantastic, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. So, Open Greenfoot, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put him over here, because I want to see his front, alright? Oh, I guess we can't see his front no matter what we do. If you're going to notice, he's kind of slowly growing some horns over here, or something like that. 15, not many changes overall. As far as his attack is concerned, though, you're going to see a bit of a red fiery guy coming out instead of a blue one. Which is pretty cool, I guess. Don't forget that these are all visual changes. Nothing is actually making him stronger or anything like that. And last but not least, this is his final form, I guess. Doesn't look as scary as you might want him to be, but still pretty cool. Tons of new limited time trophy things that you need to buy for the holidays here, guys. All these wintry things. Looking good. You got, these are obviously the featured ones. These are mostly the new ones. But if you go through all of the individual areas here, you can kind of just see what you're going to get out of all of them. Of course, Ninja Kiwi went the whole next mile here, and they ended up adding a bunch of extra stuff over here. Santa's sleigh, this little elf coming out, cannons. Oh, no. Oh, yes, they do. They are changed. They shoot mints now. Beautiful. Loving it. This is the beginner map Skates. Overall, it's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. I like that the big lake in the middle here is going to allow us to use a lot of different water towers for absolute max here, and overall, fairly well-designed map. I enjoy it. So X Factor is the new advanced map, and I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but basically these balloons are going to go from one side of the screen all the way to the other side of the screen here, and then you can explode eventually this gigantic area in the middle if you want to. Pretty cool advanced map. I haven't really jumped into it into too much detail yet, but it seems like a pretty fair map, especially when you can just kind of unload with tack shooters and kind of weird towers we don't normally use that much. There's a lot of new monkey knowledge for us. There's the emergency unlock, which allows us to activate Dartling gunners. I'm going to make a video specifically on this in the future. And it boosts their swivel speed for a short time, which is kind of cool. It just makes us allow us to pop more balloons, kind of in an emergency. Gorgon Storm, Hydro Rocket Storm, stuns damaged balloons for a short time. Honestly, one of the best monkey knowledge points that I think I've ever gotten, because Hydro Rockets is really good these days. Cross the Streams. Plasma and Doom Beams cross on the track. They create a temporary plasma pool. Very powerful overall. And then over here in the corner, you're going to see flanking maneuvers, which is really cool, actually. I like this idea overall. It's going to allow us to do weird things. Sniper, Monkey Sub, and Monkey Buccaneer attack 10% faster when set to last. So if you can put them in a good spot where last actually will be effective, this will just overall increase their popping power, which is kind of fun. This is kind of fun. We get a 10% reduction in race fees, which can overall just save us monkey money in the long run. Pretty nice. This one's really interesting. It's called recurring rangs. So what used to happen was, it used to be something else. It used to be ambidextrous rangs, but they changed it now so that instead we just have boomerangs be that much more powerful. I already thought they were pretty good. This is going to make a lot of those 5th tier boomerangs, especially the middle path boomerangs, unbelievably powerful. I don't see how this could end up being fair, but I guess we'll maybe see. Recurring rangs, man. Boomerangs that return to the boomerang monkey will be thrown a second time. Very interesting. First, last line of defense, so the purchase of the first spike factory of each game is $150 less, which, not super crazy or anything like that, but it does make it so we can actually afford a spike factory, I think even on hard, which is kind of a fun way to start off your game. And Monkeys Together Strong. Heroes receive 5% more experience per each hero placed. just giving us a slight bonus in experience when we're playing in co-op, so our heroes can actually level up finally, but even 5% doesn't seem like much overall. So to get to the new challenge browser, if you guys have not seen it, you click on the monkey over here with the exclamation point above his head. I still feel like they need to make that more clear. Then you press go on the challenge browser. There's a bunch of different ways to check this out. You can go to trending, you can go to newish, you can go to most liked, you can go to just casual or expert. You know, you can even go to your own challenges. And if you want to create your own challenges, feel free, man, jump in here, edit your challenge, create it however you want to, and put it on the browser. I think it's going to be fun for us to do that. But one thing that I have noticed is that challenges kind of get stuck in trending. If they're already in trending, they're just going to keep on trending. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it seems like something that just sort of happens. Overall, the challenge browser is honestly really, really fun. I've been having a blast with it, and hopefully you guys can kind of jump in here and have some fun with it too, man. But there's a lot more stuff. So I'm actually not going to go over any of the achievements for you guys. I feel like I can leave that for another video, or you guys can kind of just have fun doing your own. I don't really care about achievements much, so it's just my own personal preference that I just don't want to try to do them. So I'm not going to talk about them, but we are going to talk about balance changes. So what's nice is Ninja Kiwi always ends up making a 2 lists of things that they're doing. They make a balance change list, which shows all the different upgrades that they sort of change and adapt based on price or cost or speed or attack power or damage or whatever they change to it. They always tell us what they're doing so we can understand whether or not something's good or bad. But then they also make a bugs list. And I'm not going to talk about any of the bugs because sometimes it's like, you know, oh, this guy was actually supposed to shoot faster, but now we actually made him shoot faster. It's like, I don't really like talking about any of that because it's like it's already making the game work the way it was supposed to in the first place. So I think it's better to just talk about these actual changes instead. And the first change is going to be to the 4th tier sharpshooter. So this guy I already thought was a pretty reasonable tower here. He was pretty quick shot, pretty decently quick shot, and the main thing that I used him for was if I ever needed help with a Moab and just wanted to do some extra damage to stuff, I always use this guy, especially if we get quick shots or something like that. Now he shoots faster, so that's just the basic thing of him. His cooldown was from 0.95 to 0.85, so he shoots about 1/10 faster, and you can see against a single Moab, I mean, by ourselves, pretty much take it down to Moab, man, even on a map like this. That's pretty good, if you ask me. I'm pretty happy with this. Now, Ninja Kiwi thought that the Moab press, the 4th tier bottom path boomerang, was pretty overpowered already. I didn't really feel that way. I was like, yeah, he's pretty good, but for the amount of money you're spending and for the decent amount of usefulness he actually has, I didn't feel like he was all that overpowered. I mean, just compare him to the crossbow. Just see what we did with the we did more damage with the crossbow than we did with the Moab press. But either which way, he does slow them down, and he is a little bit better for late game because he can affect multiple Moabs. So they nerfed him a little bit. They're going to make his 4th tier cost now 2,200 instead of 2,000, and I'm playing on easy, so you can't see those exact numbers. Bomb Tower's got a ton of changes, so bear with me here. None of them are drastic, but they are changes nonetheless. The base Pierce is down from 18 to 14 for the cannon here, so we can only pop a max of 18 balloons here. If we just send out 15 with a spacing of 0, we should be able to see it. Should leave 1 balloon behind. Badoop. 14 and 15. All right. So I just want to, sometimes I like to confirm and just check things out to make sure that Ninja Kiwi is actually accurate with their changes. It's easy to mess that kind of stuff up. Bigger bombs Pierce reduced from 10 to 6. That's kind of wild, man. All right. I don't know how I feel about that, but all right. Heavy bombs now increases Pierce by a further 10. All right. So we're adding more Pierce, but overall still lower Pierce in general. Grouped balloons are not going to be as easily dealt with, especially late game. But what they did with heavy bombs is they made the cost cheaper. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's now only $650 instead of the ridiculous $800 that it used to be. I shouldn't say ridiculous, a somewhat fair $800, but still kind of expensive. Balloon Impact is going to be the 4th tier upgrade here. Now is going to have its price increased quite a bit from $3,200 to, it says $3,600 on here, but I'm seeing $3,420, so I'm not really sure what that is or why, but all right. I'm playing on medium, so the prices should be accurate here. Should be. Moab Assassin now is going to be a little bit different as well. So Moab Assassin's always been a pretty reasonable tower to use. Nothing too wild any which way, but now the Assassin Moab damage bonus is increased from 25 to 30. Alright, so it makes us more likely to actually build an Assassin instead of just spamming Moab Maulers. That's fair. I feel like he deserves a little bit of buff. You know, the ability by itself is not necessarily automatically awesome, so okay. I'll take that. And then last but not least, we got to talk about the Balloon Crush. So the Balloon Crush, oh my god, guys, look at this. Frag damage. So this was a tower that you didn't often use frag bombs on. You usually almost always did a faster shooting. It's going to increase the damage from 3 to 13. What? So, I mean, you obliterate balloons any which way you're doing it. But, I mean, it's ridiculous, okay? And then the Pierce is increased from 2 to 3 as well. So you got more damage, and you got more Pierce on this guy. It makes the cross path of this cannon just much more usable overall. Not gonna lie, I am loving this change for the Tack shooter. I always felt like I really wanted to go top path here, and Hot Shots was actually a pretty reasonable thing to go for, but that Ring of Fire cost was just always so expensive. Now, it's gonna be cheaper. $3,325. Again, weird that you know what I think they did? I think they changed the prices on hard instead of on medium, which I don't think that's the way they wanted to do it. But hey, any which way, I mean, I like to base things price-wise off on hard. But no, they did make it that way. All right, weird. Anyways, they said that they changed the price from $4,500 to $3,500. That's so weird. It's less than $3,500 on medium, more than $3,500 on hard. I don't know what to tell you guys. Maybe some weird monkey knowledge aspect going on here that I don't understand. Or maybe you guys can explain it to me. But any which way, $4,500 to $3,500. So a full $1,000 off the Ring of Fire here. I feel like this is actually a pretty big change here. I feel like if you actually get just 1, maybe 2, or even 3 Ring of Fires, maybe pop a primary village on this guy or something like that, he's going to be really powerful. I mean, look at this guy. It's a $4,000, $4,500 tower here. And we're going to do damage to Moabs. We're going to do damage to balloons. I mean, it's just overall a good tower. All right. If you spam a couple of them, oh boy, it's going to mean a lot of business for us. Glue Gunner actually has some interesting changes here. I feel like it's hard to balance the Glue Gunner because you either make him just too powerful or you make him just too weak. It's hard to get it just right because he works in such a weird way. But the 4th tier, or 5th tier rather, Glue Gunner is now going to be a little bit cheaper, from $24,000 to $22,000. Seems like a fair change to the game. I mean, I felt like Balloon Solver used to be really good, then they nerfed him, and now they have to, like, rebuff him a little bit because they realize he's a little too weak. So, Balloon Solver, though, a little cheaper. I'll take it, man. No, nothing wrong with that. What's interesting, though, is they decided to change the 4th tier Glue Gunner. So, for the 4th tier, you've got the Glue Strike here. What the problem was if you sent out a Moab and you Glue Striked it, right, it didn't last very long. All right, let me reset this. It didn't last very long at all. It should be able to affect Moabs, by the way. It should be able to affect Moabs. Does it only affect Moabs if you've got Corrosive Glue? Oh, I guess that makes sense. It's just a little weird. All right, just doesn't shoot at all. Any which way, it lasts for more layers now. So it's supposed to last for a whopping 6 layers instead of 3. And then the 5th tier, the Glue Storm, is going to last for 9 layers instead of just 3. So when you have one Moab, it doesn't matter much, but when you're sending out something like around 98 or something like that, this glue can actually possibly make a difference for us, you know? Might be able to actually make some plays happen or whatnot. But any which way, it does things now instead of just nothingness. I mean, that's, I guess, the best way to put it. All right, I guess I'll take it. And then the bottom path Glue Gunner also got a mild change here. So we're talking about the Moab glue here. It increased its price from $3,200 to $3,400. A mild change, but still a change nonetheless that we definitely have to keep in mind here. This has always been very, very difficult to balance. The Sniper Monkey, especially the top path Sniper Monkey, he always seems to have an issue with himself. I don't know what's going on here. I never use him, like ever. But maybe he's better than I think. I don't know. Any which way, the Sniper got a decent change here. The 4-2 maim Moab says it's going to be a maim Moab, but you have to get the shrapnel shot. Can now hit Moabs with his shrapnel shot as well. So you can stun multiple Moabs here instead of just one, which is kind of cool if you ask me. I feel like the maim Moab might actually be a more reasonable thing to use these days. And then the same thing, obviously, with the 5th tier. But now, also, the 5-2-0 Cripple Moab shrapnel shots also benefit from a stun and a debuff. Alright, so again, same thing, but of course, even better. Now you can hit multiple balloons at once. Anything that's kind of touching each other, well, you're going to get a pretty big benefit out of that, you know? Obviously, make sure you got him on strong or whatnot, or last, or whatever you want to put him on. But that's pretty sweet. Going from hitting one tower Too many? I mean, I don't know how many we're going to be able to affect, but it looks like we're affecting at least 5, maybe 6, 7, maybe even higher than that. That's pretty sweet, man. I feel like this might actually be a reasonable tower to use these days, and I want to test him out for sure in the long run. Last but not least, the last sniper upgrade is going to be the bouncing bullet. Oh man, another one that's just sort of weird. I don't really use it that much, but the pierce is going to be increased from 2 to 3. Yes, I know, technically 50% more popping power, or 33% more, depending on how you look at it. Some people don't like my math, but it's really 50% more than the previous upgrade, or 33% less than the previous upgrade. Does that make sense? Any which way, now, yeah, I mean, it's going to help, but it's again, I just don't think Bouncing Bullet's going to be an effective upgrade still. Maybe I'll test it a little bit more, but still kind of a weird upgrade. Hard to use for sure. I'm not going to show it, but the Ballistics Missile also got a slight buff. They nerfed it, and now they're rebuffing it just a little bit. They'll increase the attack speed just a little bit on your Ballistics Missile. It's a very welcomed change here. So the Buccaneer base cost reduced from 550 to 500. Now, you can't see it because I already built a military monkey, but you should be able to see it now, hopefully, or at least reasonably well. The base cost is going to be reduced, and then what happened now is that money was turned into Grape Shot. So Grape Shot was cheaper, and now it's more expensive. Very fair, if you ask me, because a base Buccaneer does not do much. It's like you need Grape Shot to do anything of reality as far as damage is concerned. So they wanted to make you allow you to build more 0/0 Buccaneers and just say, well, we're not forcing you to get Grape Shot as much, which, yeah, again, is fair. In addition, the 5th tier Pirate Lord, this is a very weird change, but again, a welcome change, is that the grape damage is increased to 5. Now, I don't know what it was before, but that means if you get something like this with a Grape Shot, oh boy, I mean, you're almost killing it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just gone. I mean, of course, you hit cannons and stuff like that. It's hard to tell what's actually hitting it, but just overall grouped popping power on the Pirate Lord is actually pretty efficient, if I do say so myself. Very happy with that. And Grape Shot ceramic damage added with a bonus of 5. So ceramics are going to get obliterated by this guy. Legit, I do not see how this is going to be a worthless tower anymore at all. We kind of stay away from him a little bit, but I really think we can use him a lot more. I don't personally understand these changes, but Ninja Kiwi must have done them for a reason. We're talking about Exploding Pineapple. The Pierce reduced from 40 to 20. I feel like Pineapples already did nothing in the first place, so like why change them at all? I don't understand. But alright, I guess that's fair. So the Pierce got reduced from 40 to 20, but then when you get a 0/1/1, the Pierce is reduced from 20 to 32, so a little less. Like, alright. Again, Pineapples didn't do anything in the first place. You're never getting your max popping power out of a Pineapple. Like, what? Unless you're, like, spamming them. Maybe they said something about races. Maybe races, it's going to help out too much to have this Pineapple be able to pop that many balloons, but either which way, it's just kind of weird. Then when you get up to a Bomber Race, it's still going to be a little less, but when you get up to a Ground Zero, it's going to be the normal amount of Pierce that it should be. But at the same time, you've already got explosions at this point, so it's like, okay, where are we going with this? In addition, Tsar Bomba now has stronger bombs. Alright. Just the general Pierce, so not necessarily getting us more popping power, but in an overwhelmed situation, this guy will get more popping power than it used to. Kind of cool. In addition, the last thing that we're talking about is the Bottom Path Monkey Ace. Now, this is a weird change, but I guess it makes sense. The Flying Fortress is now officially cheaper. From 120 to 105, so $15,000 cheaper here. Definitely a welcome change, if you ask me. Kind of curious if somebody can pull off a 2-tower chimps with the Flying Fortress now. Love to see it. I don't know, but, you know, it definitely opens up the opportunity for it to be gotten in a real game, which is kind of curious. Heli Pellet's got a fairly interesting change here. So, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Moab Shove is already a pretty good tower. It kind of helps out against a lot of these late-game Moabs and stuff like that. But most people are going to go Quad Darts in Pursuit. You just kind of let him go and do his own thing, right? Well, what if I told you that the other cross path now is better? Would that make you want to instead get bigger jets? Maybe. I would definitely consider it. And that's what's happening now. The Moab speed is reduced from 0.33 to 0.44 if you have the bigger jets. And then the BF speed reduced from 0 to negative 0.11, so we can send a BFB backwards now. That's pretty cool. It used to just stall the BFB. Now we can push it backwards. Not quickly, but backwards nonetheless. And then his Oh My God from 0.33 to 0.22. So, again, welcome change. I'm happy with it. Just kind of weird, but yeah, as long as you can make cross paths just a little bit better, makes us be a little bit more confused on which path we should go for. And that's always a good thing, if you ask me. This is another buff, debuff, buff situation again. Mortar accuracy. Mortar was super inaccurate. Well, it was accurate, reasonably accurate. I'm still, you know, this is considered 18 accuracy right now. This is what it was. They changed it to 30, which was wildly inaccurate. Now they changed it back to 18 again. So, alright. Weird changes, but I guess I'll accept it. It was really, really bad, though. That 30, you would never hit the balloons the way you wanted to. It made the mortar very difficult to use overall. And then, oddly enough, we've got a lot of 5th tier stuff we're talking about here. Now, this was always that tower that I'm just like, why would I ever build this guy? The ability's not worth it. Get a stun, I mean, we can use an ice tower or a glue gunner instead of this pop and all ability. There's no point to this thing. But now, we have a real reason to get him. So, ceramic damage, listen to this bonus increase, man. From 3 to 12. Pop and all lead damage increase from 1 to 4. I don't know why that matters, but alright, maybe for DDTs. Pop and all fortified damage bonus increase from 1 to 4. Fortified, 1 to 4, quadrupling everything. And popping on Moab damage bonus increase from 1 to 4. That just seems insane to me. I mean, yes, he was somewhat useless before, but now I feel like he's going to be actually a viable tower. I mean, this is just a regular Moab and everything, so... oh, this isn't even a popping off. Oh, crap. Now let's check him out, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that damage, dude. Going to be very, very effective in the long run. Don't forget, we've also got the ability here, which can help us out a lot for those extra balloons. I actually feel like this is going to be a very viable tower these days. But let's move on. Super Monkey's got a couple of weird changes happening for them. First of all, Robo Monkey's going to be a little bit cheaper, which is fair, I guess. I mean, nobody really ever used a Robo Monkey. If you did, it was just because you wanted to have some fun with him. They already changed it, so now he's got 2 targeting here, but you can't put them on the same thing, which is kind of bad, in my opinion. I think it'd be cool if you could have 2 different targetings, or two of the same targetings as well. It's like purposely punishing us, I guess, to get this guy. And maybe that's why they made him a little bit cheaper here. But regardless, it's nice to have a Robo Monkey as a possibility again. Tech Terror is going to have his cooldown reduced by quite a bit. You're going to notice that it's going to go from 45 to 60, or 60 to 45 seconds now. A full 25% off, which is nice. Actually giving us time to use it almost every round, maybe every other round at most. In addition, we've got the Temple. Weird change here, you're going to notice that they usually make sun avatars, but the faster you shoot, the faster the sun avatars used to be created. So if you get a super duper fast shooting tower, if you overclock this guy and everything, you get crap tons of these guys all over the place. That does not happen anymore as far as I understand. Both the 4th tier and the 5th tier spawn rate will just be a certain rate, not a rate based on attack speed. Transforming Tonic got a pretty decent buff, or popping power going from 4 to 6 now. So when we use this guy, he's going to end up being just generally more powerful. You're going to go through more balloons. It's still already pretty decent against higher tier balloons. Now being able to go through all those lower tier balloons will actually be able to clean up something like a BFB all by ourselves here. Pretty sweet if you ask me. Gotta say, this is really, really cool. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I feel like we didn't need this, but at the same time, I'm glad that this happens. I think this is going to stop any regen farms from happening ever again. So if you haven't noticed, what's happening right now is that this is the 5th tier Superstorm Druid. And when you create a tornado, now you're going to create multiple little lightning balls behind that tornado, but they're sort of random behind it. I don't know if you can tell. It's not exactly like every single time they go this way. It's sort of random on which way they're going to end up going. But generally, just tons of more popping power out of this guy. And honestly, pretty cool. I'm actually liking this this new change here. Could actually be a very valid way to pop a lot of balloons with the Superstorm instead of just sending them backwards. If you can afford this guy in a real game, he's going to be good. There's some general spike factory changes in the game here. They're mostly about the projectile length. So for the base, the projectile length is going to be reduced from 70 seconds to 50 seconds. Again, doesn't matter much, but maybe, just maybe it'll affect it. 001 long reach is going to have the same lifespan of 100 seconds, which is longer. Kind of weird, he doesn't tell you that, but it just does. And then bigger stacks is going to have a price increase from 600 to 800. I guess that's fair, but at the same time, I didn't feel like it was a necessary change. And then White Hot Spikes, though, has a reduced cost to 600, so keeping it the same, just overall cost to get to the 3rd tier. I guess that makes sense, because red Hot Spikes weren't all that important, but at the same time, it still costs the same amount of money to get to it. Alright. Then we've got to talk about the Spiked Mine damage, which was already pretty... No. I would say the Spiked Balls were really good, but the Spiked Mines were a little bit weak, so this makes sense. Ceramic damage is going to be increased from 3 to 6. So now, these explosions will actually hopefully do something for us, especially for that crazy amount of cost we're spending on these super mines. Or, excuse me, the Spiked Mines. Then these super mines are going to have a couple interesting changes here. Each Spike Mine now triggers a small explosion. Alright. So let's see if we can see it with this guy. I wanted to set out a big one here, but again, it's just going to be kind of weird to see this guy actually in action here. You're going to mostly see it when we get to this red one here. Has like a crap ton of explosions happening, and then it actually explodes. It's kind of weird, but I think it makes sense to have like some smaller explosions happening, because what was happening before was that basically a Moab could just kind of walk in here and then explode this guy, you know? And it was like, is it really worth it? Especially if they're spaced out a little bit. It was kind of weird the way it worked, but now it's a little bit more fair. The Call to Arms ability now has a smaller cooldown from 60 seconds to 45 seconds. Definitely a big help here. Some very welcomed engineer changes. Balloon Trap here, a fairly weak upgrade in the game overall, is going to get a pretty awesome buff. Now, you're going to notice that once our Balloon Trap is done, we can send another Balloon Trap, hopefully, very, very soon afterwards. There's a cooldown of about 20 seconds per trap, so you definitely have to keep that in mind, that it's not just automatic, we can pop infinite balloons, but at the same time, you're actually going to be making a lot of stuff. Before, I believe we were stuck at 1 trap per round, which was kind of rough, man. We really weren't getting that much extra out of it. In addition, you might want to end up getting the faster engineering for faster traps now, and the 5th tier extra large trap now, the cooldown will be 1/6 of its rate of the standard balloon trap. So still reasonably slow, but at the same time, when you're sucking up mobs and stuff, it's pretty delicious, bro. Pretty delicious. And the last thing are a few hero changes, but I'm not going to actually show them off because they're all fairly similar. But Gwendolyn got a small cooldown reduction. Azili got a weird Moab Hex targeting priority thing happening, and Adora had a weird buff where her Sacrifice ability now can give you an extra 10% boost in speed. All weird stuff, but all, again, welcome changes to the game right now. So, of course, if you guys didn't enjoy this fairly long, sort of drawn-out video, make sure you press that like button for me. I know there's a ton of changes coming to the game. I know you guys want to see everything that's going on. You want to understand the game to its absolute max. So let me know if you guys like this kind of content when an update comes out. And I'll keep making them, man. Thank you so much, and of course, have a super-duper delicious day.